morning, everyone. My name is Collin Craig, and I'm representing the state of Alabama. Surely most of us are familiar with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. He delivered this speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, in Washington, D.C. on August 28, 1963. Last summer, I stood on the very spot Martin Luther King pitched his vision of the future for America. As I stood there, wondering what he might have been feeling, I realized that as I looked across the reflecting pool, just beyond was the Washington Monument. So there I was with the Lincoln Memorial to my back, standing on the spot where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his powerful speech and staring at a symbol honoring a man who sparked the birth of this great nation. They each had a picture in mind for this country, but they chose to look beyond their own personal big pictures and focus on the bigger picture. In a sense, they chose the words that are the theme for this meeting, the next greatest thing. This incredible experience allowed me to reflect upon my own big picture. We each have our own life stories, our own beginnings, our own familiarities. It is where we are from, who our family is, who our friends are, and what we enjoy. It's what we see and what we experience every day of our lives without any push or effort of our own. To say the least, I returned home to my big picture much different than when I left. As I drove through my 3-stoplight town in southeast Alabama, I reflected on Slocum, home of the Tomato Festival every summer, where Friday night football reigns and everybody just about knows everybody. It's probably the place you pondered upon only because you made a wrong turn to the beach. We're a small dot on the map, but it's my town. That's my big picture. But experiencing Washington, D.C. made me realize my ability to take part in a bigger picture. When we arrived at Arlington Cemetery on day 2 of the tour, we began to walk through the rows and rows of tombstones, paying tribute to those who had fallen in defense of our great nation. It was Flag Day, and so to honor these soldiers, we each received an American flag that we could place on a grave at our discretion. As we moved through the newest section, I was drawn to a piece of paper left on a headstone. It was a note, and it read, "It's a girl." I had to walk away from my companions as tears formed and a flood of emotion swept over me. While allowing my emotions to subside, and with the intentions of rejoining my friends, I noticed another marker. It indicated that this soldier had passed away in defense of our nation on the 4th of July. At the time, the anniversary of his death was less than a month away. And what a testament to our country that even 239 years later, we're still fighting for freedom. It was on that grave that I placed my flag. Not because he was any more worthy than the person next to him, but because it was he who sparked a revelation in me of a new understanding. I then understood that upon arrival, all I saw was a sea of white markers with little distinction between them. But in reality, each one had their own big picture, their own life story. And they put that aside so that they could earn their right to be a part of the bigger picture. They became a part of the next greatest thing. Now let me take you to Capitol Hill, where we delegates were given an opportunity to speak to our state representatives and senators. It was during these intense discussions that I realized these important men and women all have comparable backgrounds. They weren't born politicians. The opportunities were not just placed into their hands. They put themselves into this bigger picture. This realization made me recognize that the only way to reach the bigger picture is to act, to move, to exert yourself in a commitment that changes the way things are now so that we can enjoy a greater vision. So, what is the bigger picture? It can be seen clearest in what we do together. It is our combined efforts of individual talents that unite to create an opportunity for the future. And that is exactly what our cooperatives have done by sending us as delegates to Washington, D.C. In the words of General Dwight D. Eisenhower, readying his men to storm the beaches of Normandy, "You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which you have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. There is a bigger picture that can only be reached through the actions we take to make the world a better place. We can't do that by ourselves. It's a collective effort from the leaders in our community who take action and look beyond their own lives. It's actions like giving your life for your country, serving as a leader for your state, or providing affordable electricity for the many homes across the nation. We all may do something different, but as we do the bigger picture, we reach our biggest pictures and then build upon them. We as youth leaders have been challenged by the NRECA to seize our part in the bigger picture. We've been sent out, away from our comfort zones, into an established council in order to work together to achieve a greatness that is defined by our actions, what we do. The questions are, what are we doing? Are we surpassing our limitations? Are we breaking our barriers? Are we shattering our chains? The Washington Youth Tour has initiated my part in the bigger picture. I'm no longer a small-town kid with small-time dreams. I'm Collin Craig, Alabama representative on the Youth Leadership Council. I'm one of 43 determined young adults seeking a positive change for the future of our generation, our cooperatives, and our nation. Now, this positive change we are seeking can be described as our goals, hopes, dreams, and ideas. It is these attainable aspects that define what I call the biggest picture. It is something that changes over and over. It's what drives our existing actions. The biggest picture is something that grows larger and larger as generations pass and minds flourish. It is a thirst that cannot be quenched. It is something reachable, then becomes unreachable. Because despite our changes and good intentions, there is no end to opportunity. The greatest thing, the next greatest thing, is always out there. I would like to take the time to say thank you to the men and women that have made me a part of their bigger picture. Thank you, Wiregrass Electric Cooperative, for giving me the opportunity to encounter paths that lead to great growth. Thank you, NRECA and AREA, for helping me recognize that my actions can open doors to a bright future. And a special thank you to Ms. Deanna Albritton for supporting and encouraging me to achieve success. To my friends in the YLC, my love and appreciation for you extends beyond limitations because you are the reason my limitations are surpassed, broken, and shattered. Finally, and most importantly, I would like to give all of the glory to my Heavenly Father for the love and mercy He has provided to me throughout my life, and especially throughout this journey. And so, I would like to say that a crucial and constant backdrop for the bigger picture is our everyday experiences. We live in our big picture as we go to school, interact with our peers, hang out with family, and so forth. It's okay to enjoy this big picture. It is where you've been placed in the world. It is the beginning of your journey. And it is okay to change your biggest pictures because there's always hope that goals and dreams can be achieved. But I pray we never cease the actions that are necessary to make the world a better place. We must push forward and never give up on the bigger picture. The vision for the future, the next greatest thing, depends on it. Thank you. I am grateful that I was chosen by my peers to speak as a representative of the next generation. Now it is my honor to introduce a longtime leader of the electric cooperatives, NRECA President Mel Coleman. Mr. Coleman was elected by the NRECA board last year as president. He has served on the national board since 2003, representing Arkansas's cooperatives. He is the CEO of North Arkansas Electric Cooperative, where he began his career in 1998 as manager of member services. Mr. Coleman, please come to the stage.